So I'm a campaigner who works for Friends of the Earth in the Economics and Resource Use programme, and I lead our work on wellbeing. And we're very excited to be working with the Network of Wellbeing on this participative project with our local group network. It's very much in the early stages, but what we hope to achieve is we hope to get a number of our local groups around the country. We've got a very wide, diverse spread of local groups. We've got over 200 of them in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. We want them to be going out into their communities, bringing in a bunch of really diverse people who truly represent the community. And that's not a new thing for us, but that's a challenge for us because people do see environmental groups in a certain way, in a certain niche, but we want to really reach out to all sorts of people and bring them in. And fundamentally, we're asking the question, what are the important ingredients to a better future for you in your local community? And work in a group, in a cooperative way, and try and work out and come to an agreement on what really works in terms of making life better in the future. And then, ideally, actually forming ideas to take action on for campaigns to actually make things happen that do improve things locally. And that could, it could be a wide diversity of things, of course. It could be anything from what we found so far, actually, in trialling this idea is that transport comes up a lot, sort of safer streets. Health is bound to be in there, I think. Health's very important to people. Work, stable employment, reliable employment, rewarding employment, and employment that's not too many hours, those types of things. And having the opportunity to connect with people is really important. So our relationships, both sort of personally with our families and friends and colleagues, but with the wider community, actually doing things with the wider community. We've already got some interest from quite a diverse geographical range of our local groups. So we're really pleased about that, and we're hoping that's going to expand next year as we roll the project out after we've trialled it, make sure it works and do any tweaks to improve it to a wider range of local groups around the country. And also more widely across Europe as well, because there is quite a lot of interest in this in other member states in Europe. We're part of an international network actually, but also we're part of a European network of local groups. We have an office in Brussels. There's a fair amount of interest there in spreading this work wider. And what I'd really like to see in a few years is this being quite widespread approach across Europe and maybe feeding into European policy in terms of the way Europe does things, the EU does things, because there's also interest, we know, in the European policy sphere in this area. We've got there's what's called the post-GDP initiative, which has gone rather flat recently, but there is interest in Europe, and I think if we were to get the EU focused more on this kind of agenda to improving well-being, measuring well-being and the various aspects of that, and improving that and having that as a core part of policy, which obviously would influence what all the member states did, we'd really be onto something there. So that would be a kind of a longer term objective that we'd like to work towards too.